I own the company Moonlight Industries.
Okay. Oh, really?
So we make like low visibility.
Oh, really?
I'm not refusing anything. I won't be answering any questions.
Okay. We, like you said, you know, we are the ones that just come and knock on the door. We just enforce the laws.
You know, you decide as you go the rules, right?
Again, that's not something I decide.
It's not that says you have the law. You don't make law, right?
I don't.
Yeah, the ATF doesn't make law.
ATF gun confiscation. In a remarkable confrontation, the owner of Moonlight Industries, a company specializing in low visibility equipment, faces off with two ATF agents. The agents visit him to inquire about and potentially confiscate FRT, or forced reset triggers, that the ATF has recently classified as mash guns. The video of this encounter, lasting about 4 minutes, showcases the owner's firm and knowledgeable response to the situation. The ATF's reclassification of FRTs as mash guns is a significant regulatory shift, impacting owners like the man in question. The agents inform him that they are reaching out to individuals who have purchased these triggers to collect them, as per the new classification. The conversation unfolds with the agents explaining their purpose and the implications of the new classification for the owner. However, the owner of Moonlight Industries handles the situation with commendable calmness and assertiveness.
I own the company Moonlight Industries.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So we make like low visibility.
Oh, really?
That just recently the ATF classified the FRTs, the force reset triggers.
Like low visibility MP7 rigs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So were you expecting us? But okay, so we are aware that you did purchase FRTs again.
That's incredible.
And we have to pick them up. You know, they're illegal. So.
Well, what didn't surprise me when I saw a guy in a plate carrier showing up. So.
He clearly states that he will not be answering any questions or making comments on the subject, nor will he be surrendering anything to the agents. His response is not outright refusal, but a measured decision to not engage with the queries or demands. The owner further explains his stance, highlighting a broader conversation about government regulations and their impact on citizens' rights. He points out that the government's decisions, including the reclassification of FRTs as mash guns, do not necessarily reflect the will or interests of the citizens. He implies that such actions by the government can be seen as overreach, failing to serve the interests of the populace. Throughout the interaction, the owner maintains a respectful yet firm tone, emphasizing his understanding of the agent's roles, but also his disagreement with the broader implications of the law they are enforcing. He articulates the dilemma faced by the ATF agents, who are often the bearers of new regulations, which might go against the public sentiment or infringe upon what many citizens consider their rights. This encounter reflects the ongoing debate and tension between government regulations, particularly those concerning arms and individual rights.
I'm not refusing anything. I won't be answering any questions.
Okay.
So I won't be answering any questions today. I don't have any comments on this subject.
We, like you said, you know, we are the ones that just come and knock on the door. We just
Sure.
enforce the laws.
So I won't be answering any questions. If I'm not being detained, I'm not under arrest, I'll just be leaving now. Sure. It's a bigger conversation than what you're having right now. No, I didn't do anything wrong. Exactly. I love good law-abiding cops.
The reclassification of FRTs as mash guns by the ATF is a part of this broader national conversation about gun control, individual liberties, and the role of government in regulating arms. The video of this interaction serves as a microcosm of these larger issues, showcasing the complexities and challenges faced by individuals and law enforcement agencies alike in navigating the changing landscape of arm regulations. This incident not only highlights the owner's adept handling of a potentially contentious situation, but also sheds light on the broader discourse around arm regulations in the United States. It underscores the delicate balance that needs to be maintained between ensuring public safety through regulations and respecting individual freedoms and rights. The interaction between the ATF agents and the Moonlight Industries owner is a poignant example of how these complex issues play out in real-world scenarios, bringing into focus the ongoing debate around arm control and rights. Arms regulation debate. In this video excerpt, the owner of Moonlight Industries engages in a conversation with two ATF agents who have approached him regarding the recent reclassification of forced reset triggers as mash guns. The owner, who remains composed and assertive throughout the interaction, raises important points about law enforcement, government decisions, and individual rights. The conversation begins with the ATF agents informing the owner about the reclassification of FRTs and their purpose of collecting these triggers from known purchasers. The owner acknowledges their presence, but asserts that he won't be answering any questions or providing any information. He emphasizes that he is not refusing anything, but won't be partaking in the conversation. One notable aspect of this exchange is the owner's acknowledgement of the role of law-abiding cops, who are just doing their job. He expresses understanding that these officers have families to feed and are following orders to keep their employment secure. This acknowledgement demonstrates a nuanced perspective, recognizing the individuals behind the enforcement of regulations while simultaneously addressing concerns about broader issues. The owner points out that despite understanding the officer's position, there is a larger problem that exists. He suggests that at some point, law enforcement officers must make a decision about which side they are on, alluding to the potential conflict between enforcing regulations and upholding individual rights. This statement opens up a dialogue about the ethical considerations faced by those in law enforcement when tasked with enforcing potentially controversial or legally ambiguous regulations. Importantly, the owner reiterates that he believes the ATF agents are just there to follow orders and are not personally responsible for the decisions made at a higher level. This nuanced view distinguishes between the individual officers and the institution they represent, emphasizing that the owner's reservations are directed at the policies and regulations themselves, rather than the individuals tasked with enforcing them. As the conversation progresses, the owner firmly asserts his decision not to answer questions unless he is being detained or arrested. He highlights the absence of any wrongdoing on his part and challenges the ATF agents on the legitimacy of the reclassification. He questions the ATF's authority to make rules without a formal legislative process, stating that the ATF doesn't make law. This critique touches on a broader issue concerning the separation of powers and the authority vested in government agencies.
You decide as you go the rules, right?
Again, that's not something I decide.
It's not.
So we are aware that you may have purchased some of these FRTs.
Okay. See, the problem is you are the people who go and knock on the doors, right?
But there is a problem that exists, and at some point you have to make your decision on which side of the team you're on.
That says you have the law. You don't make law, right?
I don't.
Yeah, the ATF doesn't make law. In good faith, when I make the gear for every high-end special operations unit in America right now, that's all I do.
The owner addresses the lack of a democratic process in the ATF's decision-making, emphasizing that rules affecting citizens' rights should go through a proper legislative and congressional hearing, rather than being unilaterally established by an agency. This argument reflects concerns about the potential overreach of regulatory bodies and the importance of a transparent and accountable legislative process. The owner concludes by expressing his commitment to supporting high-end Special Operations Unit and law enforcement SWAT teams. However, he draws a clear line, stating that he cannot take part in actions that he perceives as an overstep past legal boundaries. This assertion encapsulates the broader theme of individual responsibility and ethical considerations, suggesting that individuals, even those in support roles, must make decisions aligned with their principles. In Rapid, this video excerpt captures a nuanced and thought-provoking interaction between the owner of Moonlight Industries and ATF agents. The owner navigates a delicate balance between acknowledging the individuals in law enforcement and expressing principled resistance against what he perceives as overreaching regulations. The conversation raises significant questions about the role of law enforcement, government decision-making, and individual rights in the context of evolving regulations within the arms industry. Citizen rights asserted. The video showcases a rare instance of an individual, presumably the owner of Moonlight Industries, effectively handling an interaction with ATF agents. The individual maintains a firm stance, asserting that badges don't exempt law enforcement from potential wrongdoing. He suggests that if the American people perceive the ATF as committing crimes, he cannot assist them in their current endeavors. This part of the conversation brings attention to a critical perspective, the notion that possessing a badge doesn't grant immunity from criminal behavior. It highlights the importance of accountability and raises questions about the trust citizens place in law enforcement agencies. The individual's unwillingness to cooperate stems from a belief that the ATF may be overstepping boundaries, potentially engaging in actions perceived as criminal.
It's a bigger conversation than what you're having right now. You know, or you go against the citizens because they've spoken what they buy and what they do. The citizens are speaking.
A lot of law enforcement SWAT guys, I can't take part in an overstep past the line that says
This is or is not legal. Just because you have a badge, you can still do crimes, right? Okay.
Well, I appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
The individual expresses regret that he can't assist the ATF agents, indicating a principled stand against potential overreach or misconduct. His refusal to engage further with the agents underscores his commitment to principles and a desire not to be involved in what he perceives as a questionable situation. This observation reflects a sentiment of skepticism or distrust towards government agencies, specifically the ATF in this context. Ignoring or refusing to engage with law enforcement might be a preferable approach in certain situations, emphasizing the importance of asserting one's rights and boundaries. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.